Hi guys, welcome to another episode of The Crazy World We Die In. This will be a very short video in relation to David Bowie, who passed away this week in 2016. So guys, before I get into it, if you haven't been on my channel before, welcome, and if you've been here before, welcome back. Now what I like to do on this channel is I like to talk about people who have either recently passed or have an anniversary of their passing, talk about them, look at some of their achievements, sometimes look at their early life, or if I do find an interesting fact, then I'd like to share that with you all. Please feel free to comment in the comment section. I will always look at every comment and reply back to every comment I get. Please, if you like this content, press that like button. If you could share this, I'll be most grateful, and if you could press that subscribe button, I'll be even more grateful. So David Bowie, he was born on the 8th of January 1947, and like I said, he passed on the 10th of January 2016. Now that was 9 years ago, and I don't know if you're the same as me, but that feels like it was the other day. I remember when I heard it happen. So what I'm going to do in this video, like I said, it is going to be fairly brief, but I'm just going to talk about what's relevant to me. So I'm going to briefly touch on David Bowie's early life. I'm going to talk about what I mainly most remember him for, and then I will conclude the video. So David Bowie was born David Robert Jones. He was born in Brixton in South London. The family moved to Bromley, which is sort of between London and Kent, on the border, so not too far away from Brixton. And he went to Bromley Technical School, where he basically got a reputation of having vividly artistic dancing. Now when I read that, I thought to myself, I'm curious to see what that is. Do you think it's very flamboyant dancing? Do you think it was dancing which was out there? And I couldn't find any footage, and I couldn't really get any more information, but that was the description that I found. Now, are you all familiar with the song Tutti Frutti by Little Richard? Well, if you are, this was the song that inspired David Bowie to get into music. He loved this song, and in 1955 when he heard it, he decided that was the path that he was going to take. Now the next thing I'm going to talk about is I'm going to talk about an incident in 1962. Now, friends often fall out, and usually it's over something stupid, whether it's football or sports or games. And in this case, he fell out with his friend over a girl. Not only did he fall out with his friend, he actually had a fight with his friend. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is, if you know David Bowie, one of the things that's instantly recognizable or noticeable about him is his eyes. Now, as a result of this fight, he was punched by his friend and he sustained an injury to his left eye. So the muscles in his left iris were permanently damaged. And what this done is that this gave the illusion that his left iris was a different color. And that's one of the things you know about David Bowie if you follow him. So that was the story of the eye. Apparently David Bowie and this person that he got into an issue with are friends, and David Bowie actually thanks him for creating that mysteriousness because of the eye. Now, in David Bowie's early days, he didn't really blow up in terms of music. At one point, he even contemplated quitting to go into miming. In 1969, he had some joy with the album Space Oddity, which was his second studio album. Now, this album was rushed to coincide with the moon landing by Apollo 11. And did you know that Space Oddity was used by the BBC as background music to cover the event? So actually he got his timing spot on, because how many people probably watched the moon landing? They will automatically remember that song to that event. I'm going to fast forward to 1972 and the alter ego of David Bowie. Yes, I'm talking about Ziggy Stardust. Now the fifth studio album from David Bowie was The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and The Spiders from Mars. So like I said, this is when David Bowie assumed the Ziggy Stardust persona. And some might say it was his most popular persona. So this period actually had my favourite David Bowie song, which is Starman. Now, I love Starman. I'm just going to talk about Starman briefly before I move on. Now, first of all, do you know the song? If you don't, have a listen. Tell me if you like it in the comments. But it's probably my favourite David Bowie song. And did you know that the chorus is loosely based on Over the Rainbow from Wizard of Oz? And you know what? When you listen to it, you can actually hear it as well. Ziggy Stardust was immensely popular. However, on the 3rd of July 1975, at the Hammersmith Odeon, David Bowie decided to stop the Ziggy Stardust character. He actually gave a dramatic on-stage retirement, and the character was killed off at that point. I don't think even the members of the band knew that he was going to do that. Now, just to move briefly on, now if you're not a massive fan of David Bowie, you may know some of his other popular songs. So the first song that I'm going to talk about is a song that he done with Queen in 1981 called Under Pressure. Now this was a good song. And if you're familiar with the song, you know that the bass line is very memorable. So memorable, in fact, that if you're familiar with Ice Ice Baby from Vanilla Ice, he sampled this song. I think he got into a little bit of bother as well. I don't think he was granted permission to use that sample in his song. And as a result, there was a lawsuit where he had to give songwriting credits to both Queen and David Bowie. Now in 1983 he released the song Let's Dance, and that's another favourite of mine as well. So along with Starman, Let's Dance is probably my next favourite David Bowie song. Good song. And lastly, before I end this video, I'm just going to briefly talk about 1986, the film Labyrinth. I was actually introduced to this film quite late in life. I didn't see it as a kid, and it was shown to me, and I thought, you know what, yeah, it's okay. I could see the appeal. I watched it again subsequently, and it's a good film. It's got some really catchy songs. So David Bowie plays Jareth in Labyrinth, and he's the Goblin King, if you remember. And like I said, it had some catchy songs in the film. My favourite song was Magic Dance. So like I said at the beginning of the video, it's been 9 years since David Bowie's passing. Rest in peace to David Bowie. If you like this content or any of the content that I do, please press that like button. Please subscribe. And please feel free to put any comments in the comment section. Thanks for listening, guys, and I'll see you on the next episode of The Crazy World We Die In. Take care.